The LASIK Vision Institute has officially taken away everything standing in your way.
Isn't LASIK expensive?
Not at the LASIK Vision Institute. We're offering dramatically low prices, as low as $220 per eye, and an absolutely free consultation. See for free if LASIK is right for you by texting LIKE to 350350.
But I'm really busy.
A text only takes seconds. The LASIK procedure typically only takes 15 minutes, and most patients can get back to work the following day. The LASIK Vision Institute uses the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for as little as $220 per eye. Dr. Greenberg has performed 75,000 laser eye surgeries and is one of the most experienced LASIK surgeons in Chicago.
What's that text again?
Text LIKE to 350350. That's LIKE to 350350 to schedule your free consultation today.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. Let's talk credit card debt for a minute. If you feel you're carrying too much of it, you're not alone. The average household in the U.S. carries over $8,000 in credit card debt. Ready for some good news? With a cash-out refinance from Quicken Loans, you can quickly and easily put some of the equity in your home to good use by paying off a lot of that high-interest credit card debt. A great way to take cash out is with our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%. APR 4.23%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN to learn how taking cash out with a 30-year fixed mortgage might be the right solution for you. And for a record 10 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Rates subject to change. Pay 2% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan, and in for Amy J this morning, Sean from EP, and we're now pleased to be joined by our old friend, and I don't mean that age, I mean we've known her a long time. She's been on this show many times.
Don't say that when women are on the line.
A favorite guest. She is KT McFarland, former First Deputy National Security Advisor to President Trump. She has a new book, and I'm sure this one is NSC approved, unlike Bolton's. The book, Revolution, Trump, Washington, and We the People. And I say that lovingly because John Bolton was a friend of the show as well.
I don't like anybody.
Oh, well, you like KT McFarland. KT, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Do we have KT?
She probably hung up on you. You insulted her.
No, I didn't insult her.
It was a terrible intro.
Do we have KT or where's KT?
Yeah.
Oh, KT?
Dan?
Oh, all right. There we go. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not calling in from China. Don't worry.
Okay, good. We don't want to be, talking to you through a bubble or whatever. So again, the book Revolution, Trump, Washington, and We the People is KT McFarland's new book. KT, why don't we start just with your take, because so much of it has been wrapped up in National Security Council and intelligence agencies and foreign service officers. As we look to be nearing the end of the impeachment trial, what has been your take on what you've witnessed over the last several weeks and several months?
Well, I think Trump is a revolution. I don't think he started the revolution. I think he's led the revolution. And it is the American people who've said, I don't like the policies of economic or foreign policies of the Republicans and Democrats and the establishment. I don't like it, and I want a new guy. And what you're seeing with whether it was the Russia hoax or Ukraine now or impeachment or Donald Trump's porn star hush money payment, whatever, it's all been the establishment, the Washington elite, the press, the administrative state, the career bureaucrats, the Washington politicians of all stripes fighting back against this populist uprising and revolution. And I think the impeachment, which I hope ends today, is the last gas. I mean, this is their last shot. They took it. They failed. And I do think Trump will be reelected.
Katie, I have a question for you. I agree with you. My name's Sean, by the way. I agree with you, and I do think he is a revolutionary, but I do think it is of a movement, of a populist movement. So we've been, in my opinion, it's between two schemes. And as you can tell, I'm not pro-populist, but I'm certainly not a socialist. So what about us, the people who want the old-fashioned Americanism, the old-fashioned individuality? Where do we fit in the future of America? Or is it a fact that we're just going to have to pick our favorite scheme?
No, I think that populism, to me, is the voice of the people. whatever the people choose. And 63 million people chose Donald Trump, and in large part because he offered a very different vision. He ran against Washington, and as president, he has, kept his promises, every single one of them. And so I think for you, who probably are very much like I am, more of a, an independent thinker, probably a libertarian, less government's a better government, then I think that the new Republican Party, which Trump is remaking, I'm very comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with the divisiveness. I'm not comfortable with the name-calling and the trash tweeting and all that, but I do think sometimes you have to smash the china in the china shop and then rebuild it, and I hope that Trump turns to that, really starting with the State of the Union address next week. He's won. He's won against the establishment. It's his Republican Party. And the people who have gone against him, the Nancy Pelosi's, they will become increasingly, I think, irrelevant. And so it's now time to start turning toward the rebuilding.
There's a lot of people, including some Republicans that were inclined to more witnesses for completely different reasons than, say, Mitt Romney, who still yearn for a reckoning for some of the bad actors. People we know are bad actors, or people that are perceived to be bad actors in some sense. And we still have the Durham investigation ongoing, and we'll see the results of that. But I think there's still this open question in the minds of a lot of those who want that revolution that you're talking about and that you've written this book about. When is there going to be accountability for the upper reaches at the FBI, at the intelligence agencies, at that fourth branch of government?
Well, I think that I had figured that it wouldn't happen. I mean, I know that they did it because I was a victim of it. The Mueller people tried to push me into admitting guilt for crimes I never committed. And at the end of the day, I called their bluff and said, all right, charge me. We'll go to court, and I'll spend the rest of my life fighting you guys. But in the end, they kind of backed down. I do think that it was the intelligence community, upper reaches of the Obama administration. And I always thought that they would never be held accountable because Washington tends to just say, well, we fired those guys. We don't want to hurt the institutions, therefore we'll move on. I think, in fact, the opposite is going to happen, that the Attorney General is not afraid of taking this where it goes. And you mentioned the Durham report. That's the one to watch because he's the state attorney for Connecticut. He's doing what was initially an investigation to see whether any wrongdoing had been committed. And now he's actually impaneled a grand jury. He's going to bring criminal charges, and I would not be at all surprised if it's some of the same people that, at the highest reaches of the FBI and Justice Department.
Getting back
and then they will be held accountable. And Dan, I really think they must be held accountable because if not, it'll happen again and again and again. And the politics gets that much more vitriolic, and there's that many more conspiracy theories, and there's that much more loss of trust and thus legitimacy in those institutions. Yes.
I wanted to get your take on a big development this week, a substantive development amidst all of the bluster inside the Beltway, and that is the proposed Middle East peace plan that was unveiled by the Trump administration, the work largely of Jared Kushner over the last 3 years as the president's point man on this, and whether you think, regardless of whether that actually ever comes to pass, if there's ever going to be a lasting peace in that region, if it at least serves to further bracket Iran and prevent their expansionism in the region.
See, Dan, I mean, you're a really thoughtful guy, and we've talked about these sort of the deeper issues here. And so I think what Jared Kushner understood was that, look, we've just been having the same conversation for the last 30 years, and it never goes anywhere. You've got to change the underlying and fundamental conditions. And so first, fix the American economy and make America energy independent so we don't need Middle East oil. Secondly, crush Iran economically. And when they took out General Soleimani, that really finished their terrorism activities in the region. So you fundamentally have changed the Iran part of the equation now, and the oil, you holding the world hostage to Arab oil. The second part of it, though, was to improve the U.S. relationship, and by connection, the Israeli relationship with the Sunni Arabs, Saudi Arabia, the Gulf Arab states. And that's also been accomplished. So the fundamental configuration of the Middle East has now changed. The Iranians no longer are supporting or have the money or the wherewithal to support a lot of the Palestinian terrorist groups. And Israel has made a peace of sorts with the Sunni Arabs. And so I think that the current generation of Palestinian leaders, they're not going to go for this, because if they did, they'd be out of a job because they'd have to have an election and they wouldn't be reelected. But at the end of the day, maybe 3-5 years from now, it's the businessmen of Israel and Palestine, the Palestinian territories, and throughout the Sunni Arab world who are going to say, enough, we just want to make money and have a better life for our people. Forget these politicians.
KT McFarland, former First Deputy National Security Advisor to President Trump, author of the new book, Revolution, Trump, Washington, and We the People. KT, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it. Good luck with the book.
I'll see you at CPAC.
Okay. All right. We'll see you there. She joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Networks of the future are here now. Game-changing serverless networks with technology that's finally ready for prime time. Turnkey IT is ready to set up your business, increase productivity, save you money, and a lot of headaches. Imagine not having to purchase or maintain a local server in your building and continue using all the tools you rely on with Microsoft 365. Everything is in one place on the Office 365 cloud platform, with all files and folders stored, backed up, and ready to be shared securely within your organization. Can